checkdowns. You just had to buckle down and try to block out the noise. So hopefully we can make the Jets feel what I felt in 2015.
It's a 2:05 kickoff as the Broncos host the Jets in their home opener Sunday at Power Field at Mile High.
Hey, it's Sean Callahan, and football season is here, and there is one place that has all the games, plus great food and beer specials. Tanner's Bar and Grill at 30th and Yankee Hill. Whether it's Thursday night football, college football Saturdays, NFL Sundays, or Monday night football, there's a great view of the game from any seat with different food and drink specials every night. Try the Blue Ribbon Reuben Sandwich or the Prime Rib French Dip or any of their famous chicken lips. That's Tanner's Bar and Grill at 30th and Yankee Hill.
We're gonna eat pizza from Casey's and watch the football games. Yeah, enjoy the season with delicious Casey's pizza. 2 tasty pizzas for big game days.
Now at Casey's, you can get 2 large single-topping pizzas with delicious made-from-scratch dough for $9.99 each with promo code DOUBLE.
Casey's here for good. Yeah.
Uncle Tim, some friends and I are getting together this weekend. Can you buy us some alcohol?
I don't think that's a good idea.
Come on, it'll be low-key. My friends always say you're cooler than other adults.
Oh, well, all right. But don't let your mother find out and don't get caught. Hello, officer. What can I help you with?
Are you the uncle of Samantha?
Yes. Is she okay?
You're under arrest for procuring alcohol from minors. One of the minors drove drunk and killed the mother of 2 last night in a crash. You're looking at up to 3 years in jail and a $10,000 fine.
Don't make the same mistake he did. We need you to be the responsible adult. Underage drinking, adult consequences. There's no free ride if you provide. Learn more at projectextramile.org.
Sponsored by Region 6, Nebraska DHHS, and SAMHSA. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association at this station.
One host has a red beard and thinning hair. The other also has a red beard and thinning hair. One host got married over the summer. So did the other one. One is a diehard fan of a sub-500 AL Central baseball team. So is the other. Can these 2 radio hosts do a show together without getting confused as to their own identity? The same couple, Happer and Schaefer. Weekday mornings from 8 to 11 on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Venue at Home is your answer for locally made, freshly prepared meals delivered to your door every week. Our meals come ready to heat and eat. With sizes for 2 people or 4, Venue at Home is perfect for busy people who want a quick, easy, and delicious meal option to share with your roommates or feed the whole family. Add on from our wide selection of appetizers, sides, desserts, alcohol, and more. Receive a discount on your meals by subscribing to get Venue at Home delivered every week. Visit venueathome.net to order today. That's venueathome.net.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. This is the Happy Hour.
You guys going to happy hour?
Live from the Koppel Chevrolet GMC studios in the heart of Lincoln, America.
Yeah, maybe I'll come for a couple.
Here are your hosts, Nick Sainert.
I want to know what it's like to commit a crime without having to spend time in jail.
And Enrique Alvarez Clary.
C is for chunk.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome in. Happy Thursday. This is the Happy Hour, 93.7 The Ticket, ticketfm.com. Nick Sainert, Enrique Alvarez Clary with you. Hello, Rico.
Hello.
How are you doing?
I am well. How are you?
Not too bad. I mean, I've told you about my productive day so
Dude,
far.
You have been busy, and I'm proud of you. You've gotten a lot done.
I feel like an adult. It's adulting.
I haven't done it. Well, I've had a couple of days like that, I guess.
It's been a busy day. My most proud thing that happened today.
What?
I don't know. The proud thing that I've done today, I signed up for Farrell's. It's done. We are getting our body shaped.
Extremely.
It's going to happen.
Extreme body shaping.
I will be at the 6 a.m. class.
Oof.
Because that's the only time that I can
tried.
go.
I can't.
What do you mean? You can't.
I just can't get up that early.
Well, okay, so
because
without sounding creepy, I know where you live, and I said it. I prefaced it with saying without sounding creepy. I know where you live. I know where you live, and there's not really a location that's super close. So it's
and I would always go to Yankee
exactly,
Hill.
and so it's kind of a trek for you.
A little bit.
Hopefully, I mean, where I'm going to the Pioneers location.
I would leave my house by like 5:30. The couple of times that I went to the 6 a.m. one, and it's just bad, especially like that was before Cade was born. Mm-hmm. So it was just Ellie. So, if she woke up, Rachel would wake up with her. But now, Cade is just always awake.
Exactly.
And then Ellie wakes up at like 6. So then I'd be leaving Rachel there with 0 sleep and a newborn and a 2-year-old who just wants to watch TV. And
how is the baby?
He's doing great. At least for me, he's doing great. For Rachel, I don't know. It might be a little different.
Yeah. We get this off the text line. Farrell's works, lost 5 inches in my waist, but man, it's a lot of work. Yeah, I
that's the point.
I mean, I'm excited for it. I've been texting Jeff, been like, hey man, listen, so the orientation day is October 2nd. We'll have the high school show at that time.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, hey man, am I going to be able to get there a couple minutes late? He's like, oh yeah, we never start on time anyway. So I'm like, all right, perfect. And so it all works out. I'm excited to get rolling. Similar to slow pitch softball, I will be talking about it. Not every day.
I would say it's an everyday thing.
It's not I'm not gonna talk about it every day. Maybe it'll be like a Friday thing.
Farrell's Friday.
How's my week at Farrell's been?
Farrell's Friday.
How many days have I puked? How many times have I needed to find a trash can?
Look, after the first day, you'll be fine. The first day will be rough.
I'm sure.
I'm letting you know that right now.
Yeah.
That first day, kickboxing is going to be tough. Yeah. And you're going to feel like you are dying.
Maybe I need to start stretching like now.
Stretching won't help.
I don't know. I feel like it will, because I will say I was stretching a little bit last night, and I am not flexible.
Stretching is not going to help. You don't need to be flexible.
I am.
You won't do any kicks the first day. All punches. Your shoulders will be sore.
Okay, good. I hope I feel ripped after one.
Also,
day.
Get there a little early the first day, because they gotta like show you how to put the wrist wraps on.
Okay,
and then you put the gloves on.
Yeah.
Don't put the gloves on too tight, because sometimes you slide them off to do like you'll do like stuff on the bag, and then you'll do stuff off the bag.
Okay.
So you slide the gloves off and slide them back on. It's a lot faster if you just slide them back on without unstrapping and restrapping. It's a process.
I see. We get this unnamed texter. That's their name, unnamed texter. He goes, it's not CrossFit, bro. CrossFit bros let us know every chance they can that they CrossFit. No, I'm not going to be annoying with it and tell you guys about my journey every single day. It probably won't even last. I probably won't even tell you once a week. It'll probably be like today was bad.
No, I'm going to ask you after the first day.
Okay.
And then I'm going to ask you at the end of every week.
Okay. I'll that's fine, Rico. If you want to, I have no problem. I'll have no problem admitting how much, tough or how tough it is for me. I'll have no problem doing
the
that.
meal planning was the hardest for me.
Oh, I can't even imagine. Like that's the thing that I'm the most excited about is I officially canceled my membership at another gym this morning.
That other gym.
Yeah, at another gym this morning. So that that was like the first step. I'm like, I need to do this. First step is cancel this membership, and next step is purchase Farrell. So I'm excited to get rolling. I think Schaefer's doing it as well.
Mm-hmm. Schaefer's he's been on and off for a little bit.
Jeff told me his text said that there's a couple ticket listeners in that class, that 6 a.m. class.
Let's go.
And he thinks that that's the one that Schaefer signed up for.
Are you going to the one by Momo's or the one at Yankee?
The one on Pioneers.
Okay.
Because I'll just be closer to where I'm going to be living.
Okay.
Here on Sunday. So
bet.
Yep. I'm excited. So I wanted to start with that. If you guys did not listen to that interview yesterday, or I know Jeff's been on the ticket quite a bit, Reese, in the last couple of days, sign up. It'll be fun. We'll tackle it together. Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping. Check it out.
We can all extremely shape our bodies together.
Use the promo code TheTicket and you get half off, which is a huge deal. That's why I did it. It was like, man,
you get half off the price, and then you'll get half off your waist size.
It's a great value, and let's hope I do. So I need to lose the stomach here. That's
the hard part. That's the hardest part for guys is the belly.
I'm just not. I'm like, that's the thing is, like, through high school, it was I could eat whatever I want, and luckily I would be able to lose it during baseball season. Well, I was quick to find out that that's not how it is once you get into college.
That was me in college when I was still doing track, and then I stopped, and then I was like, oh, wait a minute.
Yeah,
I can't eat whatever I want. This is weird.
Yeah, exactly. As always, 402-464-5685. Feel free to call or text on the Starter Heyman text line or the Honda of Lincoln hotline. Once again, 402-464-5685.
We do have somebody on YouTube asking how your slow pitch season ended. You can just go real quick.
Yes, I will go real quick, as well as on the Starter Heyman Jewelers video stream, Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube. Okay, so my slow pitch softball season, we won in the semifinals 15-1. Also, I have to shout out to, I need to find it. Let's see. Marty on Twitter messaged me last night saying, hey, congrats, man. Appreciate how good of a team we were and stuff. That's what he said. So shout out to Marty for texting me and being a good sport about
shout out Marty.
them losing 15-1 in the semifinals to us. And then in the championship, we lost 17-16. Also, fun fact, some guy in the semifinal, after the semifinal game, stole our softball. So that was a side note.
It do be like that sometimes, but it's okay.
Yeah. All right. Moving on. We will be joined today at 2:30 by Justin Thind of 24/7 Sports out in Lansing to preview Michigan State and Nebraska on Saturday. I always like to talk about the perception of Nebraska from other programs' point of view. And so we'll talk to Justin about that here shortly. High school volleyball. High school volleyball, Husker volleyball.
I was like, we're hitting high school volleyball?
No,
Okay.
sorry. So truth be told, a buddy that covers high school volleyball for the Journal Star just texted me. And so that's why I was thinking high school football.
I was like, let's hit that.
When I meant to say Husker football or Husker volleyball.
I can't really help you with that, but yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So Husker volleyball, they actually snapped their 3-game winning streak last night. Losing streak. Wow.
You've been adulting way too hard today.
This is going to be a tough day if this continues, man. This is going to be a long couple hours. Husker volleyball snapped their 3-game losing streak last night with a win at Northwestern. I wanted to get to this because I've been seeing this quite a bit about Lexi's son not playing and everything. And I come into the studio right before 2:00 to getting ready to do our show. I turn on the text line and I see this text that says perhaps Lexi is distracted by her NIL deals. First of all, no. No, please don't be one of those people that are turning the athletes into that.
Are we going to do that? Are we going to blame NIL this early?
Because NIL has had you don't hear about it anymore. Like that was the whole point of this. Is that like Kayvon Thibodeau from Oregon, their big defensive end, he released his cryptocurrency out today or whatever, his own form of cryptocurrency.
Did not know.
Which I had know nothing about like Bitcoin and stuff, so I am not the person to ask. But like you saw an article and you moved on. Lexi's sons had all these deals. Great for her. You move on. Nicklin Hames, same thing. You move on. It's not becoming a big deal. Like this is what we all expected. Right when it was passed, we talked about it for a couple days, talked about the benefits, maybe some of the downfalls, if there were any, in your opinion. And then we moved on. That has nothing to do with the results on the court. Like, please start keep it separated from on the court and off the court. And if you have opinions on this, please send them in on the text line. We can get to them. But
text line or you can call, you can comment on the live stream.
Yes, please. And so with the whole thing of Lexi not starting, the way I look at it, and I've said this before, is Nebraska volleyball is similar to Nebraska baseball last year, basically. They had super seniors return, and they just didn't play. Mojo Hagee, Logan Foster. There were other guys in that. Those are the first two that come to mind that returned and didn't play
as much as they did before.
Start every single game. Yeah. Lexi's son's not starting. Why? Because you still have to build your program. You have to still continue the process of playing the younger guys or women in your sport to continue evolving your program and growing your program. Because next year, Lauren Stivrins and Lexi's son aren't going to be there.
They will be gone. And
so that's what I take away from Lexi's son not starting. I'm sure Lexi's son is still one of the best players on the team, if not, top 3 of the best. However, I'm not going to question John Cook. I don't think anybody should question John Cook.
I think he's done enough that he shouldn't be questioned. And my thing is, Lexi's not starting. We've heard before from other people that, she's still doing really well. She's still a leader. She's not a captain, but she's still a leader vocally and with her play. But right now, it seems like she's being outplayed in practice, and that happens.
Yeah.
It happens with the football team.
And
people get outplayed in practice and they don't play.
That's a great sign. That's a great sign for a program. Is if your freshman or sophomore or just younger people in general are pushing your seniors or upperclassmen as a whole to be better and to compete,
Mm-hmm.
that shows the characteristic of the program is strong.
And with how good we know she is, if she's getting pushed in practice to the point where John Cook, a multi-time national champion coach, if it pushes him to the point of, well, I think we're going to start this girl over you, that should be encouraging, because guess what? Lexi Sun is going to push herself to get back in the starting lineup. She's not going to sit back and just be like, well, at least I have my NIL deals. Like, no, that's not happening. No. She's going to push herself. She's a competitor, and she's going to try and get back in that starting lineup, and it's just going to make everyone better.
And that's the thing is,
and also, like, they're what they had Northwestern yesterday, and they have Iowa later this week. I'm not going to take anything away from Big Ten volleyball, because Big Ten volleyball is fantastic. It is an amazing conference for volleyball, but Northwestern and Iowa aren't exactly world beaters. So if he still wanted to, and he said, I understand that Coach Cook said that this lineup that they trotted out against Northwestern is going to be their lineup going forward, and they're not going to make any changes. But if you still wanted to get your freshmen some more playing time, and you still thought, maybe we'll give another player some more time to get used to the college game and the speed of the college game, Northwestern and Iowa would be pretty good teams to do it against, and then you could insert Lexi Sun if that's what he's doing. But he said that this lineup against Northwestern is the lineup they're going with, so I'm going to go with that. But in my mind, that is also a possibility, is that you're starting the freshmen against lower level Big Ten competition, lower level Power 5 competition, to get them some more experience in the game before you bring your super senior back in, and then you just rotate them in and out whenever you need them.
Yeah, and I mean, I've talked to a lot of the high school recruits that are coming to Nebraska, Drew Christo being one of them, which was a highly touted one for baseball. And I asked him, I said, was NIL a factor at all in your decision? And a lot of the recruits and even current players that you talk to, how much does NIL mean to them? It's like, they're like, yeah, it's great, but at some point you got to do the product on the field, or you got to put a good product on the field and be satisfied with that. Like, that's why you're here. You're not here for an NIL deal, basically. We get this off the text line. Is she distracted by the time and attention she has to give to managing her NIL deals? That's a legitimate question. Don't scold me for thinking it. No. I think that's a valid question. I would assume, and I necessarily might not have the true answer to this, but I would assume that when you're a big enough player or brand manager like Lexi Sun would be, and I know she has her own business and her own clothing line or something like that, I'm sure there's people that help her run it.
She is a marketing major. I'm sure she knows how to
I'm sure
manage
she
her
is.
time.
Yeah, I'm sure she is. I'm sure
and it's
she
not
does.
it's not like managing her time is going to come new to her, like she has been managing her time in college with volleyball and going to classes. Like, this isn't anything new to her.
Yeah, and I just wanted to get to that. We don't need to spend a ton of time on it here, but I just wanted to get to that and touch on that. And we got this, is how adorably naive of you to think that we can separate politics from stuff like this. There's not a chance anymore. People will grasp into any whiff of them being right about NIL. You're absolutely right. And maybe that's, and maybe that was wrong of me. Well, no, I'm not going to back down on that, because that was not wrong of me to say that, because I truly feel like, we haven't talked about it. We haven't thought about it. I mean, personally, I have not thought about it. Like, it's like, oh, cool. Nicklin Hames just worked with Muchachos.
And
That's
it's
awesome.
not okay. And it's not like these players are out there running deals and talking to businesses on their own. Like, it's not like they're running around going to. It's not like she ran to Borsheim's and was like, "Hey, I want a deal. Let's talk business."
Yes.
Like, they're working with the university, working with Open Doors, and the businesses that want to work with them have to go through there, and then they talk with each other. But it's not like they're sitting down for hours and the players are running around town trying to get these deals. Like, that's not how this is happening.
Yeah, and like, even more specifically with Lexi Sun, we heard about her clothing deal or clothing line, and it was like, hey, congrats, Lexi, congrats, and then you moved on. Like, it's just a thing that's out there now. It's a way for them to benefit. And if Nebraska as an athletic department was worried about it, which it doesn't seem like they are, they're adapting. They've been out in the forefront of it the whole entire time with Open Doors, right down the block. But they also just announced last week, a couple Wednesdays ago, it wasn't not yesterday, but the previous Wednesday, that they're allowing the athletes to use Nebraska's brand to help them,
which is big,
which is huge. And so, I just saying that if Nebraska as an athletic department, or if coaches were included in that were worried about, the distraction off the court from those deals, then
the coaches would take the correct steps to correct that and get their players back focused on, they would question them. Are you more focused on this? Or are you more focused on this sport that we're trying to excel at? And that would be it. The coaches and the players would have a discussion, and they would make their deals at the end of that. It's as simple as that. I'm not gonna question Coach Cook and what he's doing.
And that's what somebody said on the text line is couch coaches are a pet peeve. This is exactly what I hate about Husker fans. So many question coaches, even the successful ones. So I just wanted to touch on that. Lemon says the problem is going to be businesses offering stuff to high school recruits to get them to come.
I'm not touching
We're
that.
not there yet. We are not there yet.
I like this unnamed texter. It's possible and probable that Sen is just not as good as the other players playing in front of her.
And that's good, right?
This is the #1 recruiting class for a reason. These girls, these ladies, these women, they're fantastic volleyball players.
Yes.
They're amazing volleyball players. They get to Nebraska. They're learning from high level, high class coaches. Yeah. They improve their game, and maybe they're just better than Lexi is right now. That's not to say that she's not good. That's not to say that she was a multi-time All-American for a reason. It's not to say that, but she can also improve her game. It's not like she was perfect. It's not like anybody's perfect. You still have room to improve in your game.
Yeah.
And maybe right now in practices and in the games a little bit, these freshmen or some of the freshmen are outplaying her. And it happens.
That's good.
It's not like she's not going to play all season. It's not like they might make it. It's not like they won't make a change if she improves to the level where she is now better than those freshmen. It will change if it needs to.
Yeah, that's good. That shows a heart of competition on that team. And we've never questioned Nebraska volleyball's will to compete. We've never questioned that. And if you have, then see their recent success and the banners hanging. Mm-hmm. One more text before we put a bow on this and we move on to Husker football.
Oh, well, I was going to say one more thing.
Go
after
ahead.
You.
Go ahead.
I was going to say the people that are also questioning Nicklin Hames, if you go on the Twitter sphere whenever Nebraska volleyball posts something about Nicklin or about the starting lineup, and people are saying that she needs to be benched because she hasn't improved. And they need to start, the freshman in front of her. She was a second team All-American, and she is one of the best setters in the Big Ten, if not the best setter in the Big Ten. And I don't know what people are watching to make you think that she's playing horribly, because she is playing fantastic. She had a 7-game double streak with assists and digs. That's crazy. And people are asking for her to get benched.
Yeah, and okay, so this text just came in, so I want to get to 2 here. First one, it says maybe Sun came back to get the freshman girls ready and now is somewhat coaching them from the bench. Listen, that's what I was trying to get maybe at the beginning when I talked about this is, and I told Rico this before we came on. When they made the decision to come back, it's not like John Cook or this coaching staff promised them anything. They probably told them, hey, you're going to compete for a spot just like everybody else.
Still got to fight.
And they came back knowing that. And so that tells you about how much they care about Nebraska as a program, Nebraska as an athletic department, and this Husker volleyball team in whole. One last one here. Unnamed texter says, you admit, Nick, you haven't thought about it. Let me reiterate. I have thought about NIL. I have looked at it. I've read about it. I've understand it. What I'm saying when I say we haven't thought about it is I'm saying we have not talked about it. It has not been a storyline when somebody gets a big deal. We mentioned, hey, Kayvon Thibodeau just made out his own cryptocurrency. Great, because it's legal. Okay, Quinn Ewers signed for whatever 1.4 or 1.8 or whatever.
He left high school.
Yeah, we talked about it for 15 minutes and we moved on. That's what I'm saying. We haven't thought about it over and over and over and over again. But that does not mean that we don't know how it works, if that makes sense. All right.
Sometimes distractions are just distractions. It's not like this is anything new.
So I just wanted to put that out there. Nebraska volleyball, they won last night against Northwestern. They play Iowa later this week, and I'm not worried about them at all. Once again, when it comes to being successful on the court, they played a tough non-con schedule. Don't forget that.
Tough.
Don't forget that. And with a young team, we've talked about it again. With a young team, you kind of want that because how else are you going to be prepared?
Gain that experience.
All right, let's move on. Talk a little Husker football before Justin Thin of 24/7 Sports from Lansing joins us here shortly. So Scott talked a little bit on Thursday. He provided some updates. Javen Wright, man, you got to feel bad for him. He just can't get off the injury bug, basically. He had to have surgery for a blood clot over in the last couple of days. I don't know if Scott Frost said when. But like I said, you have to feel for the guy.
I think it was I think it was yesterday because I saw a post
Yes.
from him saying the surgery was successful and he's just resting now.
Exactly. So, man, you just have to feel for the guy. Guy from Arizona, committed to Nebraska, then eventually came here. Obviously, just hasn't been able to stay healthy long enough to find significant playing time.
Really
also,
talented player is that's what's coming from the coaches and Scott Frost himself saying he's extremely talented. It's just right now he just can't seem to stay healthy, unfortunately. And it's not like the blood clots or anything that happened on the field or anything.
No,
it's just a freak thing, and it's unfortunate. And I hope that he can recover swiftly and get back on the field and back to doing what he loves.
Well, they really like him at that outside linebacker position. So maybe next year that's a place where Nebraska can benefit with him in the linebacker room. Or kind of if they want to play him at nickel spot if he's quick enough and stuff like that. Transitioning to the offensive side of the ball, doesn't seem like the coaching staff is all that confident in Oliver Martin being available on Saturday against Michigan State. But hey, the way I look at it is it opens up more opportunities for guys like Omar, Xavier Betts, right, who have kind of come onto the scene a little bit more, and we've started to see a little bit more of them in the last couple weeks. Also, maybe we finally see Alante Brown. I mean, we just keep saying it every single week, and Lubick said it, and Frost said it a couple weeks ago, is that
I think he was on the field for a couple offensive snaps against Oklahoma.
It's just one of these times where I just feel like I hope that Alante Brown can make his name known on the field, because that's I kind of pair him with Xavier Betts of where's he been.
Another extremely talented player that you're just wondering when he's going to get on the field.
Yeah. All right. So we have a couple clips here from Scott Frost on Thursday. He was asked about how much does like the hostile environment of Norman prepare them for Michigan State this week, and here's what he had to say.
Yeah, I hope so. It got loud a couple times down in Norman. We got to do a better job making sure that the noise doesn't affect us. 4 false start penalties, too many. But we've been in a hostile environment a couple times already this year.
So I was looking at on paper, and I truly feel like Nebraska is the better team than Michigan State on paper. They have more athletes. I feel like they have the better quarterback. Yes, Kenneth Walker is going to be one of the best players on the field on Saturday. But in terms of wide receivers, I feel like Nebraska has more talent. Maybe it's still unproven talent, like we've said, but I feel like they have more talent.
Unproven until it's proven.
Michigan State's secondary is not anything to write home about. Nebraska's is. They've played well. Nebraska's defense as a whole has played well. And so on paper, I truly feel like Nebraska has the upper hand. And it goes back every single week to Nebraska doing the little things correct, playing disciplined football, trimming down the penalties. And I feel like if they do, then this Saturday's game is going to go in Nebraska fans' way.
Well, like we said when Nebraska played Oklahoma, paper doesn't win you games, and Oklahoma was far and away more talented than Nebraska was on paper, and you see how close Nebraska was in that game. So although Nebraska seems to be more talented than Michigan State, I think right now Michigan State as a team, as a whole, is playing in a way that Nebraska wants to play in. They're not making mistakes. They're playing amazingly together. Everything seems in sync. The plays are run to perfection, and they don't get in their own way. They as you've seen, their quarterback hasn't thrown an interception this season. He has 9 touchdowns and no picks. I don't think Kenneth Walker's even put it on the ground at all yet. So very limiting the turnovers, stopping teams when they need to stop teams. They don't have a great defense, but they have a solid defense. I mean, they held Miami, who we still don't really know.
No.
I think Miami's bad. I'm not 100% on that one.
Who knows?
But they held Miami to very, very few points. So I'm just going to go with that defense is still pretty solid. I mean, it's a Michigan State team, and they seem to always have good defenses, and Mel Tucker's proven to be a really fantastic coach. So they're very well coached. They make very few mistakes, and even though on paper they may seem to be less talented, I'm not gonna put anything past them.
Yeah, let's go ahead and finish this conversation in our final segment. Right now, we got to take a break, get to Justin Thind of 24/7 Sports out in East Lansing. He'll join the happy hour next on 93.7 The Ticket.
Follow Nick and Enrique on Twitter at Nick_Sainert and at Radio Rico AC. More of Happy Hour is next on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. 93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by Security First Bank, a relationship you can count on.
We'll see sunny skies and beautiful conditions here for our Thursday, topping out at 82, a south wind at around 10 to 15. Increasing cloud cover tonight with the low dropping down to 55. We'll see cooler conditions tomorrow with a high of 76 and a very slight chance of scattered rain showers. I'm meteorologist Tim Wright for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Your home should not be a zoo to unwelcomed animals. Let the experts at Bats to Rats take care of those problems. Dane has been a leader in wildlife and pest management and prevention in Lincoln and the surrounding area for 15 years. He can help you get rid of bats, rodents, and anything else. Whether it's residential or commercial buildings, schools, apartments, or churches, they're always a phone call away. Call today at 402-310-0904 or visit batstorats.com. Bats to Rats Wildlife Control and Prevention.
The weather has changed, and now it's time to adjust your footwear to change along with it. Stop into Brown's Shoe Fit at 66th and Q to get ready for cooler temperatures and fashion trends. They're stocked with Hey Dudes, Brooks, New Balance, Danner boots, Keen or Merrill hiking boots, and plenty of other options. Plus, they have Nordic beach jackets and Bindle tumblers to take to the gym with your new athletic shoes. So get to Brown's Shoe Fit today at 66th and Q.
The decision to replace your air conditioner will save or waste money for 15 to 20 years. Bryant offers some of the most efficient ACs available, up to 26 year. Schedule your free estimate at BryantLincoln.com.
Hi, Sean Callahan here. In 2013, I first came across Koppel Chevrolet GMC in Louisville, and I've been a customer ever since. What's kept me coming back to Koppel is the people. Oftentimes, owner Bob Koppel and his son Brandon are right there with you in the showroom, walking you through the process. There's no runaround at Koppel. It's a hardworking Nebraska company built on honest, small-town values. So make that short drive to Louisville or visit them online at koppelcars.com.
Rosie's Sports Bar and Grill has been your go-to in South Lincoln for years, and their second location in downtown Lincoln is now open. Rosie's downtown spot is Lincoln's premier Nebraska party bar with the Sidetrack Band every Friday night of home games and all day for Nebraska home football games. With 34 TVs that are 65 inches or bigger, you'll always have a great view for all the games. Make sure to check out the new Rosie Sports Bar and Grill, now open in downtown Lincoln at 10th and P.
We're gonna eat pizza from Casey's and watch the football games. Yeah, enjoy the season with delicious Casey's pizza. 2 tasty pizzas for big game days.
Now at Casey's, you can get 2 large single-topping pizzas with delicious made-from-scratch dough for $9.99 each with promo code DOUBLE.
Casey's here for good. Yeah.
Nguyen Vape is celebrating their grand opening with 20% off products all month long. They have the largest disposable vape selection in town and also carry Delta 8 and Delta 10 and various other moon rocks. If you're looking for help to relax, sleep, or ease pain, they have a variety of gummies you can choose from and Kratom that could help with pain relief, anxiety, and stress. You can't miss them right on the southwest corner of 27th and O Street. Nguyen Vape, your headquarters in Lincoln for vapes and Delta 8 or 10.
Now back to the happy hour with Nick Sainert and Enrique Alvarez Clary on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back into the happy hour, 93.7 The Ticket, ticketfm.com. Nick Sainert, Enrique Alvarez Clary. We are now joined on the Honda of Lincoln hotline by Justin Thind of 24/7 Sports out in Lansing, Michigan. Justin, how are we doing today?
Good. How you doing, Nick?
Not too bad. I appreciate you joining us. So obviously Nebraska, Michigan State this Saturday. I like to ask this question whenever we talk to whoever Nebraska's playing. What's the vibe on the Michigan side of things up there in Lansing this week?
On the Michigan State side of things here, it's pretty optimistic, probably as optimistic as I remember it in the last several years. Obviously, with that comes the concern of hopefully the players are not too caught up in the headlines and aren't thinking about how good they really are being portrayed to be, and they got to actually grind out the tape, grind out the practices. So really, really optimistic, almost to the point of you got to worry about a letdown. So that's kind of where things stand up here.
Now, I like to ask this question as well. What's the perception of Nebraska, not only their team this season, but as a program in totality? What's the perception of Nebraska, especially from your guys' perspective, since they match up on Saturday here?
Right. So I would say that there's two different time stamps of Nebraska's perception. It's, I guess, before Bo Pelini and I guess after. And the perception afterwards, obviously, as the wins and losses would also indicate, it's not the greatest perception. But I will say that after the Oklahoma game, things kind of started to change a little bit here in the past week. Before that, all they had to go off of was the Illinois game. And suddenly Oklahoma, who came into the season as a playoff contender, suddenly that was a 7-point loss for Nebraska, and people stopped kind of cracking the jokes that have been going on for the past couple years here. And suddenly it's a game that people are not piling the money on the spread like they necessarily were doing before Northwestern and Youngstown State. And suddenly there's some caution in the air.
Justin Thind, a Michigan State reporter from 24/7 Sports in Lansing, is joining us here on the Happy Hour. Now, Justin, let's switch over to the Michigan State side of things. What are the expectations like for Michigan State this year? I mean, yeah, like the goal obviously is to make the Big Ten championship game, but realistically, like what was the expectation going into the season, and what is it now for Mel Tucker in year 2?
Yeah, definitely. So I guess the way that this question would be answered is there's two different audiences that had expectations for Michigan State. One is the audience that they don't really follow the transfer portal. They don't really watch the tape of who they're bringing in. And they just see, okay, our Spartans were 2-5 last year, and we didn't have the greatest high school recruiting class. So the expectations are low. Then there's the other audience that closely monitors like every single transfer portal pickup, closely monitors like the behind the scenes infrastructure Mel's building with the dietitian that they hired, the strength and conditioning improvements. And those people, they're like, okay, so we finally had a real off season, and we finally brought in some transfers that are really good. Kenneth Walker, namely, Jarrett Horst, another one at left tackle, Quavaris Crouch at linebacker. So those fans had a expectation that Michigan State would go to a bowl game. The other fans were closer to the Vegas and national media expectations of 4 wins. So for me, as it's part of my job to kind of know every single person coming into the program, I saw these transfers that they were bringing in, and there was no doubt in my mind that they would at least win 6 games, if not 7 or 8. And so for me, the season is kind of going as expected so far. I did think that the Miami game would be a loss before the season started, so maybe you can add one more game to my prediction of 7-5, I guess. But there's a contingent of fans that are thinking that this is far exceeding expectations because of that whole transfer portal sector of roster additions that people really didn't know how to treat until the season started.
Yeah, one of those guys that you mentioned in Mel Tucker, especially at Michigan State here this last year, has been known for bringing in the guys from the transfer market, like you just said. Obviously, Kenneth Walker III is the biggest name out there. Unlike Nebraska, Michigan State knows what they have in the running back room. Explain to Husker fans and our listeners what kind of runner and just how dangerous Kenneth Walker is.
So every time I talk about Kenneth Walker, I have to kind of watch how I describe him because fans will think I'm going overboard if they haven't watched him play. But it really is to the point where I can't name another running back in the last several years that I've seen like him other than maybe Saquon Barkley. He has pretty much every tool that you want out of a running back, all like combined. So he has like the patience and vision that you would see from like Le'Veon Bell. At the same time, he has burst that you normally wouldn't see from a running back that breaks as many tackles as him. So I think the stat last week was he had 20 broken tackles against Miami. So 20 broken tackles in one game. So you'd think, based on that, he's some power runner, kind of like your Marshawn Lynch or LeGarrette Blount. But then if you watch the actual plays, he turns a corner on a 180-pound defensive back and just leaves him in the dust. So he really has just every tool that you would want. And you're not going to understand why I'm talking about him with so much hype unless you kind of watch him make these cuts. And then you're kind of like, okay, I kind of see why this guy that nobody knew the name of is suddenly like 7th in Heisman odds. And then you kind of see where all this is coming from.
Justin Thind of 24/7 Sports out in Lansing is joining us here. While Mark D'Antonio was there, he really built that program, the Spartan program, on a physical, tough offense, I suppose, but definitely stronger on defense. In year 2, do you guys know what Mel Tucker's identity is, or at least what he wants it to be?
So I would say that he would want it to be similar to what Coach D did, with strong on offensive and defensive lines, running the ball to set up the passing game and making other offenses work for it. But what it has turned into, because just of who they were able to pick up from the portal and a lot of the better talent being on offense, it has turned into the offense being better this year than the defense, at least so far. So if you listen to all the things that Mel Tucker said since he arrived last February, it was always more of he wanted to have a typical Big Ten defense kind of led team. But that just isn't what it ended up being, just based on what roster he took over and which additions they had. So I would say, to answer your question, the identity they have is the offense has been carrying them so far. And on defense right now, their run defense is very solid, but I have some concerns about outside cornerback play. 2 really good safeties, really good nickel thumper they have in Michael Dowell, but outside cornerback play is a big concern. And they don't really generate a great pass rush outside of Drew Beasley. So if a team has great outside receiver speed, they could generate some production against this defense, but I don't think anyone would be running for too many yards on Michigan State's defense.
Now, everybody talks about Kenneth Walker, obviously. Talk about Peyton Thorne, your guys' quarterback. What makes him dangerous? I mean, Husker coaches have talked about it a little bit this week. He's not going to kill you necessarily with his feet, but he has the ability to scramble if he needs to. Talk about Peyton Thorne. Right. What should Husker fans expect from him on Saturday?
Right. Yeah. So Thorne was actually described, or I guess classified as a dual threat quarterback coming out of high school. But like you said, it's mostly him looking to make plays with his arm. And if it's like a 3rd and 9 and everyone's covered, he will take off, and he has the speed to get the yardage. But yeah, he's a guy that coming into the season, people didn't really know what to expect because he only started 3 career games last year as a redshirt freshman. But they were against an Indiana team that was rolling. They were against an Ohio State team that was rolling and a Penn State team that was coming live at the end of the season. And he didn't play great in those games, but that was also before he had a running game to lean on. As Michigan State's starting running back last year, ended up being about running back 4 or 5 coming into fall camp this year. I had to move to tight end and Connor Hayward. And the offensive line wasn't as great because Jarrett Horst, the left tackle transfer, wasn't on the team yet. So came into the season not really people having great high hopes about him. But now that he actually has tools around him and he has made sure to not turn the ball over, he's looked pretty good. I don't know if the box score of him having 4 touchdowns against Miami and having the high completion percentage in the Youngstown State game, like that, those are really indicative of, oh man, this guy's going to come in and beat us even if we take away Kenneth Walker. I don't know if that's necessarily the case. He hasn't had to win games himself off of his arm. But yeah, he's a good quarterback that has exceeded expectations, and the biggest praise I can give him is staying in the pocket, making the play, and not turning the ball over.
Couple more before we let you go here, Justin. Justin Thin of 24/7 Sports is our guest here. When you're looking at Nebraska, or kind of the common thought when you're looking at Nebraska, what is your guys' main concern while scouting the Huskers going into Saturday?
So I would say that the main concern is kind of the same as the concern that I had against Miami, and that's with Derek King. He was not exactly the most accurate passer. And the concern was, okay, if you get him in a 3rd and 9, is he going to continuously break the defense's back by scrambling and picking up the yards? How do you contain his mobility? And I would say with Adrian Martinez, it's kind of the same worry. As he's not exactly the most accurate passer, but at the same time, he's as dual threat as you'll find in the Big Ten these days. And that's a kind of quarterback that can kill you, even if he has a day where he's only passing like 55% with his arm. That guy can pick up some yards, get 70, 80 rushing yards, especially in crucial situations. Get some red zone trips in there, and suddenly you're looking at a game that's much tighter than it should be based on the passing production. just because the quarterback is finding time to run in situations that can kill you. So just like kind of like Derek King, I know they had Quavaris Crouch spying him on some of those crucial situations. Other times they just had some mid zones where the linebackers were sitting there anyway. So we'll see what they do, what they scheme up. But I'm kind of worried about Adrian Martinez making plays, even if they take away the pass game from him.
Last one here before we let you go, Justin. What is Michigan State's biggest question mark heading into Saturday?
I would definitely say that if they cannot generate a pass rush, what their outside cornerback play would look like. Because against Miami, they on the plays where Derek King could sit there all day, their outside cornerbacks were basically playing 10, 15 yards off the line of scrimmage because they would probably be getting beat deep if they were playing press man. And then you also think about, okay, if we don't play press man, we play this 15-yard cushion coverage. They're just completing curl routes and comeback routes pretty easily. So if Michigan State continues, even beyond Saturday, if they continue to not being able to get pressure with the pass rush, that outside quarterback play is definitely a question.
Awesome. Good stuff, Justin. That is Justin Thind of 24/7 Sports out in Lansing. Justin, we appreciate the time. We'll talk to you down the road, and good luck on Saturday.
Definitely. Thanks a lot for having me, Nick. Really, really appreciate it. A lot of fun.
That is Justin Thind of 24/7 Sports in East Lansing, Michigan. Let's go ahead and take one final timeout. We'll wrap up the happy hour on a Thursday next.
Download our app by searching 93.7 The Ticket in your app store to stay in touch and listen all day long wherever you are. More of the happy hour is next on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
The decision to replace your air conditioner will save or waste money for 15 to 20 years. Bryant offers some of the most efficient ACs available, up to 26 year. Schedule your free estimate at BryantLincoln.com.
Nguyen Vape is celebrating their grand opening with 20% off products all month long. They have the largest disposable vape selection in town and also carry Delta 8 and Delta 10 and various other moon rocks. If you're looking for help to relax, sleep, or ease pain, they have a variety of gummies you can choose from and Kratom that could help with pain relief, anxiety, and stress. You can't miss them right on the southwest corner of 27th and O Street. Nguyen Vape, your headquarters in Lincoln for vapes and Delta 8 or 10.
Hi, Sean Callahan here. In 2013, I first came across Koppel Chevrolet GMC in Louisville, and I've been a customer ever since. What's kept me coming back to Koppel is the people. Oftentimes, owner Bob Koppel and his son Brandon are right there with you in the showroom, walking you through the process. There's no runaround at Koppel. It's a hardworking Nebraska company built on honest, small-town values. So make that short drive to Louisville or visit them online at koppelcars.com.
Tailgating is back, and Sauter Heyman Jewelers is offering a deal that'll really fire you up. Receive a free Traeger grill with a purchase of $2,500 or more. Take advantage of interest-free financing with no money down. Sauter Heyman has dazzling jewelry in every price range, so buy her the diamonds she's been dreaming of and get instantly rewarded with a free Traeger grill. Offer ends soon, so hurry in and get them while they're hot. Sauter Heyman Jewelers, a Nebraska tradition since 1905.
93.7 The Ticket is hiring. We're looking for a highly confident, driven, and energetic individual to join our team as a sales executive. You can begin your exciting career in sports radio at a locally owned independent station and work closely with our crew of on-air personalities. If you enjoy meeting new people and working with them to solve their marketing needs, this could be the job for you. Head to theticketfm.com for the complete job description and instructions on how you can apply. 93.7 The Ticket and BDP Communications is an equal opportunity employer.
If you're struggling to get motivated to work out, you're not alone. And Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping is here to help. Build muscle, burn fat, and lose weight with Farrell's 10-week challenge starting October 2nd. Farrell's combines kickboxing with inclusive strength training and nutrition planning to help you stay on track. Go to fxblincoln.com to sign up, and if you mention the ticket, you'll get a 50% discount. It's the Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping 10-week challenge starting October 2nd with 2 locations in Lincoln.
Flying high at 2-0. And Sunday, the Broncos come home to ground the Jets. Join Dave Logan, Rick Lewis, and Susie Warchin from Empower Field at Mile High for the home opener.
He's got something there, and something makes the catch.
On the KOA Broncos Radio Network.
Century Electric is now hiring for experienced licensed electricians. This position will serve around the Lincoln area on both commercial and residential jobs. Century Electric is well established with 40 years in operation. It offers a substantial hiring bonus as well as tons of benefits. For more information or to apply, go online to centuryelectric.com and click the careers tab or call them at 402-467-5550. Come work for a great company today with Century Electric, whose commitment is always to their customers.
Now back to the happy hour with Nick Sainert and Enrique Alvarez Clary on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We're back here on the happy hour one final time. Shout out industry, baby.
Always and forever.
We got this off the text line. Thanks again to Justin Thind of 24/7 Sports out in Lansing for joining us. Dakota says this was at 2:32. Lil Nas lead in what? Awesome choice, my dudes. Yeah, well, Dakota, you got it twice.
Dose. You're welcome.
2 times. And he texted in, he goes, yee, Lil Nas, so good.
Yee! That's how you have to say that.
I'm not. We were also joined for this final segment by Connor Happer.
Hello.
What it is.
I'm happy to be a part of this show.
You always
he doesn't believe in us.
You always sit there
That's
with
not
a
true.
judgmental look on your face.
You guys are weird.
Just his face.
Like it's fine, but you guys are weird. It's great, but you guys are super weird.
We've never
You
said that
say
we're not.
shout out industry baby every day.
Yeah,
I guess so.
Mm-hmm.
You say
guess so.
You say so and so did a tweet every day. So there's that.
Yeah. Yep. I do. I say a lot of the same things
you
every
say
day.
People forget.
People forget that.
People do forget.
People forget.
People, you always say how much you like spreadsheets.
Yeah, not daily though.
No,
but
that's not every day. He gets in the sheets every once in a while.
Yeah, I was locked in today.
That's what we call it. Happer gets in the sheets when he's
The
in the
best thing
spreadsheets.
I've heard today is Rico goes, yeah, or not Rico, Happer goes at the start of our show. Yeah, I've been lost in the sheets for 2 hours. And Tom goes, oh, you took a nap?
I mean, that's a totally fair thing to think, but yeah, I was not taking a nap in my office while staring at the computer for 2 straight hours. But I did look up, and all of a sudden it was 2:00, and you guys were going on air. So I was like, wow, I'm just gonna tune into the happy hour today
and get happy.
We appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
It's put a smile on your face. What are you up to tonight?
Oh, I have a high school football broadcast.
Lincoln East?
East and Southeast.
Happer's favorite, Lincoln East.
Noah Walters.
One of my favorite games of the year for sure. I feel pretty comfortable in saying that it's the top 2 teams in the city. And should be good.
Which isn't saying much because there's a huge gap between Lincoln and Omaha, sadly.
Yeah, it seems that way.
Yeah.
Yes.
So what time is that?
It's always been there.
7:00.
Perfect. So make sure you're tuning in at 7 p.m.
Everybody will be there.
Literally everyone.
Everyone?
Yep.
I won't be.
Schaefer will.
You'll be there in spirit.
I will
Sauter
be there.
will.
My voice will be going over.
Yeah, producing the broadcast.
I'll be there in spirit. I'll send my spirit to you.
Why don't you be there, Rico?
Yeah.
Because I'm going to be at home with the
baby.
Almost 1 month old and 2-year-old.
It's always excuses.
He's there with the baby.
I'm sorry that I'm going to try and take the child away from my wife so she can get some sleep.
Okay. Well,
I'm a helpful husband.
We also get this off the text line. Tell Happer he's a bad driver.
You can. It won't bother me.
Okay.
There you go, Dakota. We did it for you.
All right. Let's talk about Husker football real quick. Got a couple minutes left here. Earlier today, Scott Frost, he was asked about the kicking because the kicking has been abysmal, right? It's Connor Culp's like 3 for 8 on the year, I think. So not a good percentage there. So he was asked how he feels about kicking and how it's been this week. And here's what he had to say.
Yeah, it's a work in progress, but I got a lot of confidence in the guys. They just got to find their rhythm. And Connor kicked well this week, so we got to trust him and let him go out and do his job.
Can we play it again, please?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a work in progress.
Stop.
But
how much confidence you got in the kicking game heading into Saturday?
I have a level of confidence that can be measured.
Explain.
No, that's it.
Happer, how much confidence do you have in the kicking game on Saturday?
I don't think they will have an extra point block and take back for a safety because that just the odds on that just generally seem unlikely. And well, let's be honest though, like if that exact thing doesn't happen last week, what are we thinking about the kicking game right now? Colt pulled the 35-yarder, okay, and then he missed a 50-yarder.
Barely.
Yes, but it's also happened a couple like weeks stacked on weeks.
Right.
And so that's
missed
where,
a few field goals.
Where personally for me, I don't think. I mean that just happens.
But
like
but it was
thing
accentuated. Happens. It was punctuated by the blocked extra point. That wasn't even Culp, by the way.
Yeah, it was offensive.
It made it
line,
worse because the offensive line got
the Culp
shoved
wasn't
down.
in the
no,
game.
Culp wasn't kicking it.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. But like, I'm just saying, like from a Connor Culp standpoint of how we feel about him going into this weekend.
Fine.
It's been weeks on weeks though. Of
I think fine. I mean, I think they won't have any problem putting him out there. I think fine. Like
I'm not saying they're not going to put him out there. I'm just saying.
I think if you get put in a situation where you have to kick a field goal, I am nervous, but I still have faith that he will make it.
Thank you, Rico.
There you go. Well, some people don't have any faith. Like people are nervous and they're just like, it's gonna miss. Whatever. I don't care.
am nervous anytime a kicker takes the field. Always.
I think
I wasn't after last season and coming into this season. I was not. I was like, Connor Cope's out there. It's automatic. We're good.
Yeah, I never thought that about him.
Yeah,
and I think I don't know. I mentioned it before the season started. I wasn't completely confident in him. I didn't think it'd be this bad. But I don't know. I feel, I guess, better than most. I just feel like we pile on that piece of it because of what happened with the safety at the totally wrong time. And I get that. It can't hurt you as much as it's hurt Nebraska. But, if you give him another 10 shots at a 35-yard field goal, he probably makes 8 or 9 of them.
It's also kind of hard when you have your offensive line getting shoved down in front of, like, right where you're going to kick it. So I'm sure that kind of speeds up the process or puts a little doubt in your mind. You might hook it, and then that's kind of what happened on the 35-yarder.
Yeah, he's definitely in his own head.
Oh, absolutely. So I wanted to touch on that real quick. Also, lastly but not least, I'm jacked for Nebraska ball.
Are you now?
The pictures came out yesterday and everything.
That's what got you?
I looked. I mean, like our team.
That's what got him. People sitting in chairs.
What do they look like, Nick? Yeah,
I'm jacked for Nebraska
Are you?
ball.
Who are you looking forward to?
I said it before. I love Oleg.
Yeah, you do.
But
Oleg Koyenets.
Here's the deal: is I know he's not going to play it.
My man's Oleg. He's getting in.
Oleg, I love Oleg.
Make a t-shirt.
I guarantee you right now.
If you make
I heart New York. No, I heart Oleg.
I guarantee you right now. Oleg yams on somebody this year.
Wow,
he's tall.
Oleg yams on somebody, but Bryce yams on somebody.
You better hope. You better hope it happens at the Peru State exhibition.
Nah.
Yeah.
They play them this year.
Yeah,
I think so. Colorado.
He's gonna
Peru
dunk.
State.
He's gonna dunk on Michigan State.
Real quickly, 8 seconds. Panthers or Texans?
Panthers.
All right, we're out. We'll talk to you tomorrow on Friday.
Adios.
Talk to your local Landmark CTS about John Deere Planter Performance Upgrade Kits and take advantage of savings during the early order program.